All right, Kate, you warned me today that you and Jillian had some trouble. You had some TV issues. Mm-hmm. Please tell me you were able to save the day.
She asked me to come look at her TV because the picture was pink. And I said, what does that mean? What are you talking about? And she said, I don't know, but it's pink. There's no image at all. It's just pink. And I was like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Kurt, I turned on the TV. It was completely fine.
Ah! So there's nothing wrong with it.
She just didn't turn it off and turn it back on again?
What? Did it look pink while it was turning on if she has like an old TV or something? Like,
it is not an old TV.
is Jillionaire's eyesight? Should we be worried?
I think it was like a temporary glitch and it just... She panicked.
Panicked. So I got to get Kateline down here now. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, look, I'm glad that you were able to save the day. I'm sure she's able to watch Tracker.
Oh, yeah.
Or 2020 or some shit. But not us. Only the finest Friday news magazine will do. Hit the thing. Attention shoppers. We've got to clean up on ILH.
What the other wolves think?
A true crime cleanup on ILH.
Diabolical.
Starting now.
Oh, he's telling you that she's bats.
Howdy, Holtheads. Kurt Money here, alongside my co-host,
Kateline.
And we're here to talk about a Dateline. It's been a little
bit.
Ooh. I don't even, a few months ago? We've done a few, but I don't even remember the last one we did.
I don't either.
And this baby aired 2 or 3 weeks ago. This was from June 19th or 16th or something like that.
Fresh.
Let me read the IMDb, aka it's the Google, but I cut it in half for spoiler perp. After Mum, says Mum, which is kind of funny. After Mum, Regina Hicks, is found dead in her car submerged in a pond, the case goes unsolved for nearly 25 years. That's where I leave it. I say that's it. That's all you get. What do you think?
That's what happened, yeah.
All right, well, Kateline, what did you think of this Dateline?
It was nice to be back with Keith.
Mm-hmm. KM, Joey, absolutely.
Here's Keith Morrison with Secrets Unmasked.
I had not heard this story, which I was kind of surprised about because it's an older one, and I feel like it would have come across my desk at some point.
Well, I think this was new because the trial at the end didn't happen until November of last year.
Yeah, but the murder was so long ago.
Yeah, but didn't get solved until November of last year.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm with you, though, because it's a shorty. So that is usually a sign it's a repeat, but I don't know. I've given up trying to track down what was originally released and whatnot. I've decided that life's too short, and Peacock and Dateline together love to make it super difficult, so I'm just going to let them win that battle.
It also seems like Dateline doesn't care, so why should we?
Excellent point. But I thought we had a pretty fun Dateline, did we not? We had a few crazy things. I've got a few people I'm mad at. I think Keith really shone in one of these scenes. I thought he was really doing some KMing.
I don't know that I picked up on that, but I want to hear it. I want to hear your thoughts.
Our story begins Willard, Ohio, October 2001. Well, first it opens up with an excellent KM thing where he's like, 24 years ago, rumors swirl, the trouble and the gossip.
Railway town, among other things. Sort of place where rumors travel fast and truth doesn't always catch up.
Even before that, though, we see Lester, and he's in front of the Los Angeles skyline, not New York.
I didn't catch that.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I got it open right now. I'm going to take a look. I'm looking at it. You're sure that's L.A., huh?
Oh, yeah. And you should be, too.
From this... Get out of here. This could be any city.
No, dude.
But
So what's he doing in L.A.?
What do you think? World Cup, for some reason?
World Cup. Maybe.
Maybe he's a big fan. I'll keep my eyes peeled for him in the audience.
Maybe he's working on a story.
Ooh. Look, I would love it because he has yet to do another one after that dud that he did. Am I right? I mean, there's a few Datelines I have not watched because I'm not convinced they're new, but I don't think he's had another one.
Yeah, and also, where's Murph Dog?
Yeah, great cue.
Who knows?
All right, so it's 2001. Regina Hicks, she is due around 8 p.m. to pick up her son Montana from her ex, Paul Hicks. They are at his friend's house. We hear a voicemail from Paul because Regina is nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm. He's calling saying, where are you? He sounds worried.
Hey, it's me, Paul. Just want to know if you're going to come get him tonight or what. Should you be here at 8:30? It's 9. give me a call. I have my cell phone on. Bye.
I think it's interesting to hear landline messages, right? Isn't that what they're implying, that this is like an answering machine?
No, it could be on their cells. I mean, the other people have cells in here. That might be actually easier for them to get if Regina had a cell phone.
I don't know why I got the impression that none of these people had cell phones.
I have my cell phone on. I have my cell phone.
And then we hear another voicemail from a family member, and this one sounds very concerned.
It's me, honey. We're worried about you.
Next day, they file a missing persons report. And then a few days later, they find something in a pond.
They find her car submerged in this very small pond. This isn't like any kind of like lake or anything. This is like the size of my yard.
It's a man-made something because it's like perfectly square.
Yes, it's like a drainage ditch.
Yeah.
And they find her car submerged and she is inside. However, she's in the passenger seat. So immediately they're thinking foul play.
She had marks underneath her shoulders as if she was dragged, and she had marks on her wrists. But there was no doubt about it. She was alive when she went into the pond.
Now, to me, what you just said, the passenger side, we've had this before.
Yep.
We had this recently. And guess what? This is all I need if I was the coroner to rule it a homicide. But what was this coroner's decision, Kate?
Undetermined.
Meanwhile, she's in her own car in the passenger seat, submerged with wounds, like fight wounds.
Yeah, that's a homicide.
This is going to be the first hiccup here because this coroner doesn't budge, does he?
No, it takes a lot.
Yeah, so we're going to find out about that, but don't worry, there's a detective on there going, it was hard for me to do anything because it wasn't a case, which I get. Right? I mean, if it's not a friggin' murder, then he probably legally cannot work on it.
It's really annoying that, again, we've seen this, that the coroner
is a dope.
Gets to decide whether or not it's a case based on their determination.
The method, undetermined.
This has got to be like he didn't look. I don't think he cared or read anywhere. And I'm saying it's a dude. What do you think?
It's a dude. Come on.
It's a dude. I feel like he didn't read anywhere in the notes that it was like where the body was found. I feel like he looked at the body and was like, well, she drowned. I can't tell you how. All right, next case. But we pause to go back in time. We get a backstory on Regina, our victim. She seems like a lovely lady. She's got a huge laugh.
Mm-hmm. Larger than life. Lit up a room, the whole nine.
She was a very fun-loving girl. She never really met no enemies.
Regina met Paul in high school. They were high school sweethearts. And we see pics of him, and he's rocking this bum equipment shirt. Where's Bum these days?
Oh, my gosh. I'm so glad you mentioned it. I was loving the Bum shirt.
Yeah.
I never owned a single piece of Bum equipment, but I was so jealous of all the kids that did. I wanted it so bad, but I didn't even know where to buy it because I was like in elementary school. And when you're that young, you don't know about stores and stuff. I just saw things I wanted and then I would tell my parents and it was up to them to find it. And they wouldn't even try. So
no, because if it wasn't at Kohl's,
right.
You're out of luck.
If
you're
it wasn't at the local retailer that my mom worked for, by the way.
What? You got discounts and everything.
But it never had cool stuff.
That's a bummer. There's a kid later wearing some Jordan gear that's also so sick. There was some wonderful tees in here.
Oh, nice.
He's brought in for the interrogation, and at first, I was concerned we were going to have a buddy-buddy sitch like we did with the Deadpool guy when that cop broed down with him. Because the first thing this cop says, like, you came in and everything's good. And I was like, here we go.
We interviewed the husband, Paul Hicks.
You're up here, you're cooperating. Man, that's really good.
But it didn't go that way. They're trying to lead him into something. Like, they're going like, so did you hear anything about, like, a Regina or whatever? And he says a classic line. He goes, well, I got a ton of friends that are in the fire department, and I know that you guys pulled a body. He's super sad, though, because Regina was the love of his life. He was quick to admit that. So my heart goes out to him in that moment.
Even though they were broken up.
Yep.
How does it make you feel? You love her?
Love with all my heart.
I've got a lot of questions for Paul Hicks that I'm not sure I'd ever get real answers to.
No.
What'd you think of this guy's dope look?
No, I hated him.
I hated him.
And I know so many guys just like him.
He had like a little Caesar haircut or something. He's like, I'm super tall. I don't have to worry about this.
Well, what year was it?
2001.
The Caesar. That was the vibe.
Point is, I didn't like this guy. Even though he had on that bum shirt, He's a bum, so he's right there.
But in the photo where he's wearing the bum shirt, that was high school where things were still good.
Okay. Yep.
He looked like a good guy, like they were a great match.
Yeah.
Nobody had anything bad to say about their relationship before they started having kids.
That's right.
She was head over heels in love with him.
Paul's alibi is I was hanging out at my buddy Steve Gates' house and we were playing with a dirt mover or whatever, a dozer.
A dozer?
And they talked to Steve Gates and he confirms, yeah, we were just hanging. We were just hanging,
playing with my dozer.
When we were kids, with a dozer, let's go push some dirt around.
We're kids. Whole lot of calling 20-year-olds kids in this episode. Get ready for that.
They're adults and they're stupid.
Yep.
Are you familiar with the killdozer?
Of course I am. Of course I know well the killdozer. Of course I do,
Yeah.
Kate.
Anytime someone says dozer, I'm right there with the killdozer. Because it was so insane.
Yeah.
And kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't they throw a bomb inside of the dozer?
It would take police several hours to cut through the armor and retrieve his body. The task was so difficult that they used blowtorches and small explosives to get in.
So this is the first time we see the pond, this tiny ass pond that the car went into. And I don't know if this is B-roll you busted or B-roll you lucked out. Every time they show that friggin' pond, they're showing it with tire tracks in the grass.
Yeah.
And it's but the tire tracks we're talking about were from 25 years ago. It's not those, right? So did they just find other tire tracks and were like, let's use this?
Or did they recreate it? Did they put the tire tracks in there?
By killing the grass? That seems like journalism a no-no. It seems like they're affecting the scene somehow. You think they would kill the grass? I don't know.
Early in the investigation, we didn't have any facts. We didn't know what happened to her at all.
So yeah, now is when it's starting to go cold. On the 1-year anniversary of her death, Regina's mom puts up billboards with info for anybody to come forward, like a reward and whatnot. Nothing happens. They don't hear a damn thing. So years pass, this thing goes cold. Like the cop says, it's not a case. It was never opened because of the coroner.
Said it was an undetermined manner of death. That's a major hiccup in this case.
Meaning Howard was hamstrung, couldn't intensify the investigation the way he wanted to.
2015, Regina's mom dies.
So sad.
So sad.
She never got answers.
This was weird. So she died, but we're talking to the detective that was on the case, or at least the one making excuses for why it wasn't solved. He says that he went to the DA with the mom to present a case, because that's the other thing we got to talk about is, according to the town, Paul did it, right? That was the vibe.
The hot goss for years was that everybody knew Paul did it.
Everybody.
Even though they also knew that he had an alibi. They knew that.
Right.
And they knew Steve was the alibi.
Yeah.
Because Steve was also living in the town, living his life. He had gotten married and everything. But still, people had their suspicions.
Lots of conspiracy theories, truth and lies, indistinguishable.
Yeah. And so, but maybe I heard it wrong, right? I mean, there's no way the mom was allowed to make a case to the DA, right? I mean, unless this was a small town or something. That sounds bonkers to me. That sounds like unheard of.
I went with the late Regina's mother to the prosecutor. We met with him, and she pleaded with him to take the case, and he refused.
And it's frustrating that it's gone cold or isn't a case, because also Regina's uncle told the cops that he had seen Regina's car at Steve Gates' place, like where the drop-off was going to happen.
Yeah.
He saw this white car there, which goes against what they're all saying, because Paul's whole thing is she never showed up. I don't know where she is. She never showed up.
Right.
But again, the DA says, no, not enough. The detective goes, and that's their prerogative. And I just want to translate it and go so I was relieved because that means I was off the hook. You can't be mad at me right now.
I didn't have to do paperwork.
Yeah.
And that's his prerogative.
Paul keeps custody after they find Regina in the pond. And for a while, he lets Regina's family see the kid, the Montana. Mm-hmm. But he has full custody, but then eventually he cuts that off, doesn't he? And says, you can't see him.
Which, again, hella suspicious. We've seen that before. It's like as soon as you cut out the family, you're just pointing more fingers at yourself.
Yeah, because the only reason you would not want them around is because you're worried about what they'd find out, right? I mean, there's no other reason why you would not let the mom's side of the family see their grandkids.
Because if you were really mourning the loss of the mother of your children, wouldn't you want to be around her family?
Mm-hmm.
Especially because they kind of grew up together, and it's not like he barely knew them to begin
Right.
with. They all
Great
live in the
point.
same town. They were kids together.
Yeah.
He got along with them. So for him to
Mhm.
suddenly be like, nope, you're done, really suspicious.
Then he gets a job out of state and says, okay, Mom, you take care of Montana. I don't even want custody of my kid. You can't give it back to Regina's fam. I've got to work out of town. Like, that's how it ultimately ended up, is that his mom had custody of Montana.
And then
Isn't that crazy?
she wouldn't let them see him either?
I don't know. Maybe it was his directive.
And then eventually Paul left the boy with his own mother.
So years pass, and now is when Paul meets Kelly. And KM's talking to Kelly. We got Kelly in a talking head. We're getting her side of the story.
For privacy reasons, Kelly asked us not to use her last name.
I just turned 23, and he was 33.
And according to her, because Keith is like, did he ever tell you about what happened to his ex-wife? And she says, oh yeah, he told me that she died in a car accident and he cried. He cried for me right then and there.
I would hope that he'd cry.
Didn't you get the sense that Kelly was wise to all of his didn't you think?
Well, now, when he initially cried in front of her, she was buying it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, and so she buys it. It's good at first, but then he gets controlling and stuff. And Kelly's had enough. She's got to dump him. And he tells her, this is a direct quote, I'm going to hurt you where it hurts the most.
Terrifying.
That sucks to hear.
I was just done at that point. And he kept saying, I'm going to do something that's going to hurt you the most.
They weren't married, but they did have a kid together. What does not being married do to custody? Does it help or hurt it, or does it not matter? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I guess I thought they were married.
I know, but they weren't.
Are you sure?
Yes! Anyway, okay. Ooh, we got... She's kicking. She's doing some real dreaming over here, the missus.
Oh, cute.
She's going... Oh my God. Can you hear her?
I can.
What do you think? Should I... I'm going to wake her up. We got record, right?
Leave it in.
Then one day in 2018, she's meant to meet Paul at a Kroger parking lot for a kid swap.
Sounds familiar.
Before we knew it, both doors were open, and we had taser guns pointing at our head from Claremont County Sheriff's Department.
And she's going, What do you mean? What do you mean? What are you arresting me for? What did I do?
The way that these cops are acting, they've got her dead to rights, they think. Both in this body cam footage and then the interrogation footage that we're about to hear, there's this one saucy detective in there where I thought was way too confident. Are you with me here? Do you remember who was in the room?
Way too confident for someone with no evidence?
Yeah, or what they think is evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Investigators showed her security camera photos of a woman who set fire to Paul's house.
Well, I want to show you some pictures.
We don't talk to this detective. She was blonde, female detective who was in the room with her.
I bet we don't talk to her because she's embarrassed.
Absolutely, for a few things that she says in here. First, we have to say this. They were allowed to bring her in for questioning because they arrested her for criminal damaging.
And were you actually charged with crime?
Criminal damaging. And they used that to take me in to question me about the fire.
Because there had been footage 2 weeks prior, from the middle of the day, mind you. The time code on the security footage said 1:24 p.m. of a hooded figure trashing Paul's hot tub. Oh, there's some flavor for you.
Trashy.
So in this moment, are you thinking that was Kelly, or are you suspicious?
No.
You didn't even think that?
Absolutely not.
You didn't think I was her either. Okay.
But also at the beginning, the highlights of what was coming in the episode, I knew it wasn't.
Yeah,
her.
they
really tipped their hand a little too much on that.
Yeah, that's why I skipped right over it, because I'm with you. I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
The detective is like, well, I've got these pictures here of security footage from inside of Paul's house. And she's going, you were fingered. I'm going to show you this security footage of you in it.
Well, I want to show you some pictures of actually the woman who came in for the arson.
And she hands a picture over to Kelly. Do you remember what she says here?
She goes, she has your figure.
She's rather large.
Oh my God. That is.
I couldn't believe it.
And also, no, she isn't. The person in that footage isn't large, and Kelly isn't large. So for her to say, look, you're both fatties is crazy.
I mean, I was trying to think it was taken out of context somehow, but I cannot come up with an alternate theory for why she said that. She really does say she's real large.
Like,
what else could that be describing?
The person is big in the frame.
Maybe.
Where the camera is positioned, it's clear. We can see so much detail because it's so big that that's your hair and that's your body. But I didn't read it like that. I read it like she's body shaming her.
Yeah, me too.
She's rather large.
So we see this footage that the detective has stills from, and it's excellent freaking security footage. We see two hooded figures, we believe one male, one female, break into Paul's house. We see them dump the gasoline. We see the explosions from multiple angles. I mean, this is like an action movie for a hot sec, was it not?
It is, and I'm immediately suspicious because the camera placement is not where surveillance cameras go. It looks like it's in the microwave.
Somehow the cameras were placed right in the perfect spot to capture everything.
And it also feels like these people that are doing the fire, they don't give a shit about cameras, right?
No.
I mean, we're seeing full frontal on these. They're hooded and stuff. Now, here is... this is why I'm so upset with the detective. Now, we see this footage, and they're going, well, there you are, and that your ex-boyfriend pointed you out.
So the person in the video wasn't Kelly. It was someone wearing a mask to look just like her. Kelly was being framed.
Did you ever for 1 second think that was not a mask? I didn't think it was a mask that looked like a person. I thought it was straight up a ski mask. You could tell the person in the footage was wearing a mask.
Yes. And again, like you said, not that it was a mask of a face, which we find out it is.
Yeah.
It looked like fabric clinging to a face.
Yes. And the person was wearing like ski goggles too, so it was even more proof. And none of it moved ever.
Mm-mm.
I'm just so shocked they believe for 1 second this could be her, because it's clearly a mask, and then they're going, and it's your curly hair too. And we look, and sure enough, this person lighting the fire has the curly hair pushed out from under the hood. A female would not do that.
No.
Right? If you're wearing a hood for purposes, right, you're not wearing your curly hair out.
If you're going to do some kind of operation like burn a house down, you've got your hair up in a ponytail or a bun.
Yeah.
I can't even go to the grocery store with my hair down, let alone burn a house down.
Boom. Good point.
Hair goes up if it's long like that.
And this was long too. It was so aggressively wanting to say it was one person who it was not. And these cops fell for it hardcore, right? They truly believed that this was Kelly in this footage. Y'all dum-dums.
What in heaven's name was going on?
How'd you find out what happened? What really happened?
The insurance.
It's not until the insurance investigator looks into this that guy goes, wait, this is bogus. And then all of a sudden, now he's on this case for 2 years.
Zach McCune was brought in when Paul filed a claim with the insurance company.
And this guy, he had like a little mini Gen Z alpaca thing going on, right? Didn't he have like that little kid hair that you made me wise to a few years ago?
Oh, the broccoli cut?
Yeah. He had like a mini version of it, I thought.
Yeah.
I was laughing at him.
I mean, that's funny. The broccoli cut, the alpaca hair, that's the modern day Caesar cut.
Yeah, you're right. So what, did you think he was pulling it off? Were you a fan or no?
Well, he's far too old to have that haircut. That's supposed to be for like 14-year-olds.
Good point. I mean, that guy's at least, I hope, in his 20s. I mean, he's probably in his 30s.
Well, he has a real job. I don't think you can be an insurance investigator at 14.
Good point.
Although you saw recently that J-Lo claimed she was a tax lawyer.
No, I did not.
At like 16.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that.
There's a clip of it. You'll find it.
No. First red flag to the insurance investigator. Paul drove 3 hours to the fire to say, hey guys, great news. I've got security cam footage that was in a fireproof safe. So this is already the insurance guy's suspicious, because it's like, oh, that's convenient that you had your security cameras in a fireproof safe.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on there?
That seemed odd. Hard drives of video recordings in fireproof gun safes. But then the content of the video itself was odd too. Not just odd, brazen.
Also, the insurance guy discovers that the night before, Paul Hicks had posted on his Facebook, like, isn't this crazy? My ex is hitting me up, and it looks like she has like 92 missed calls and stuff.
He'd been using screenshots from his iPhone that made it appear Kelly was stalking him and harassing him and calling him like initially 60 times and then 90 times and then more than 100 times.
Paul hands over his phone to investigators, and they find a contact on there called Spoof Card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a company that you buy minutes from. So I assume you buy like a burner, and you buy minutes, and you can make it look like any number is calling another one. So this is how he faked these missing calls.
Yep.
There's numerous phone calls from your phone to his phone.
Oh, no, that's what I was just showing you right here.
Okay.
I never called him at all.
Because he wanted it to look like his ex was going crazy, and then the very next night she set fire to his place. This is also standing out to the investigator like, oh, that's kind of weird. That the timing of this is perfect.
Now, in his faked call log, did it say her name like 40 times, or was it just a number?
Well, I mean, either way, they had it blurred, so we don't know.
I don't remember.
But also, I want to say, like, he had to pay some shady company to, I mean, pop that into Photoshop, my man. I mean, this is a real easy scam job. There wouldn't be a paper trail of it, I'll tell you that much.
I think it's safe to say that he didn't know how to use Photoshop.
You don't think Paul is fluent in Photoshop? All right.
I don't know that Paul can do anything.
Other than have a very specific type of love interest, because we find another number. He owns a phone he shares with another female. We find out her name is Terry Sweet. And it was this number that ended up they find receipts for this thing called that'smyface.com. She was the one who bought a face to look like Kelly. So this is the smoking gun right here. We see like the receipt where it's like, here's a picture of the lady and here's what the mask will look like.
Right.
And it goes back and forth.
You have to have pictures of the person's face from front angles and side angles.
The mask looked like this.
Here's what I want to know. That sounds hella illegal. So I guess my question is, what's their legal standing? Is this more of just like a goof? Is this a gag gift?
Yes, definitely. It's definitely for laughs, not for arson.
No, but hey, it was good enough to fool those dumb cops. I mean, they bought it. They really thought that was friggin' Kelly.
So stupid. Does the whole town just think Kelly burnt his house down? Is she, like, living with anxiety that she's going to go to prison for arson? Because she doesn't know that this stuff is being uncovered.
No, you're right. You're right. And this whole time, that criminal damaging thing is hanging on her too. So this is, again, it's looking like
she got a record.
This is looking like, in my opinion, it was set up by Paul to plant the seed that she would do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was a test run for him to go, will we get away with it? I'll just keep my back to the camera while I'm hitting my hot tub, right?
So stupid.
So cops find out about this and drop the hot tub charge, and they had never charged her with the arson, but they did drop the hot tub charge. They did go, ooh, yeah, maybe we're dumb. Maybe we should have realized that. So now we're thinking, okay, so who's the lady in the mask? Well, they showed us a picture of that Terry Sweet, and I knew right away it was her, right? I mean, didn't you see the picture of Terry Sweet and go, oh, it's her?
Mm-hmm.
Guy's got a type, okay? Body shape looks a whole lot like Kelly.
100%.
That was wild. And so that insurance guy wants to have her, like, in a deposition, like, accuse her of this stuff. Where's Terry Sweet? She's friggin' 6 feet under. Remember this? This was so weird.
So we call over to her family, and we find out that she died the previous day.
Unbelievable.
Cam asked the guy with the broccoli hair, like, what happened? And he tells this story about how, she was an alcoholic and the doctors told her if she drank again, it could kill her, and it did. I mean, okay, obviously this is a real thing. And, cirrhosis of the liver and whatnot. But I feel like cops can prove, we could say definitively how she died, right? I mean, there are records to be looked into.
Was there any investigation of that death?
Not that I'm aware of. We were told that she was an alcoholic and that she was told if you don't stop drinking, there's a chance that you could die.
Like, did we have to guess?
It is kind of strange, yeah. It's like they didn't look into it by the time Dateline showed up for the interview. They were like, oh, we forgot. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? We just took their word for it. That'd be really funny.
We kind of do that a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's 2019. Paul is arrested for perjury and stuff. He's not directly accused of the arson because he's not the guy in it. I assume because he was shorter. Like, Paul is tall. You notice he's tall in court.
He's a very, very tall, imposing gentleman.
Yeah, remember that imposing part for in a minute. I mean, Kurt's going to roll his eyes, but someone's about to say that. But they arrest him for lying about it and everything. He didn't commit it, but he did set it up. And then it sounds like we've got a great case for this. After 3 years of starts and stops, MFer gets a plea deal. For why, Kateline?
Good lawyers, I guess.
I guess 3 years would be 2022. I have no choice but to blame COVID, because how else would this guy get a deal for that? Why would he get a deal? They've freaking got him. They've got him dead to rights.
I guess because no one was injured in the arson.
Fair. Yeah, and at that point, it's just an insurance thing.
And they never paid out, so he didn't actually take the money fraudulently.
That's true. Okay, so they've got that going. They're also moving forward with the Regina Hicks case. Sounds to me like they got to have new evidence. Uh-oh, turns out there's a secret witness.
Is it a secret?
A male came forward. Steve Gates. And KM gives us a classic, remember him?
We know him.
This guy, Steve Gates, he wanted to unburden his soul.
For all those years, he denied knowing anything about a murder. But with mortality staring him in the face, he said it was time.
And this is where the laughs begin with me, because Keith asked him a series of questions and he just says no 3 times. He's just like, no. Yeah.
Did you tell your wife or your family or anybody about this?
Nope.
Never?
Nope.
Nobody?
Nope.
This guy was such a dud.
Yeah. I hate this guy. This guy is...
I don't care about unburdening your soul, dude.
Yeah.
It better late than never, I guess. Yeah. But come on.
This is 24 years after the fact. So his big story now is... I guess he came in 2024. He's ready to spill. At one point in the show, they say it's because he has like a life-threatening disease or something, didn't they?
He thinks his time is up.
Yeah.
So he's gonna spill the deets,
and
then he can get into heaven. I don't know, but guess what?
I wouldn't let him in. I wouldn't let him in.
No, it's very, whatever it is, it's very self-serving, and it's too little too late. I mean, technically it's not, but he says he was too scared of Paul.
So we hear this story, and that night, Paul was over at his house, and Regina came over to pick up the kids. But according to him, they started fighting again like they always do. And he says, I was sick of it. I was sick of it, Keith, so I had to get out of there.
Oh.
So he leaves for 15, 20 minutes.
He drives off in his dozer.
It was always something. How much of that can you take? I'm tired of it.
15, 20 minutes later, he comes back. Regina appears to be passed out in the car. And he's like, well, let's get her to the hospital, Paul. And what's Paul's response to Steve?
Nah, man, she's dead. She's gone.
Nothing we could do about it. So now follow me to a lake so we can bury the evidence. Nothing wrong here. And Steve, this 20-year-old child, he says, you got it, Paul. I'm afraid of you. You're tall and have facial hair. You terrify me. My name's friggin' Steve.
Not like, oh, I'll go along with it, and then when I part ways with him later, I can go to the cops. That's the logical thing anyone would do. It's like, if you're scared of him, yeah, in the moment, you do what he says, and then you go to the cops, and you say, this just happened. They will arrest him, and then you have no reason to be scared of him anymore.
Yeah, and Keith offers a specific option to him. He goes, a lot of people wonder why you didn't call on the way to the pond, because he was in the other car. This is what makes me think they had cell phones, Kate. Was this right here, because he goes,
this is what makes me think they didn't.
No, but his response was, you're right, I could have done that.
Some people were saying, well, why didn't you call 911 from the other car? You wouldn't have known that you were calling.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know.
He says that.
Maybe. I just think it was very early.
You're going hard on the fact that they don't have cell phones when...
In 2001, in like a rural town, I wouldn't be surprised if none of them had them.
Give me a call. I have a cell phone. Bye.
But he says, yeah, I didn't do that. I just went along with it because he was real intimidating and stuff. And he was threatening me. So I just, I had to go through with it. And this was so awesome. This was the KM part, okay? Because he goes, well, you know what it is? Must have been hard for a 20-year-old kid. Or was it?
Cover-up happens almost in front of you. For a 20-year-old kid, that's got to be a pretty horrific thing to see. Or was it?
And old Steve Gates does not like that. He goes, what do you mean? Of course it was. Of course it was hard. He finally emotes for one. So I was like, well done, Keith, for getting this guy to give us anything.
Or was it?
Or was it? What do you mean?
Well, I'm asking you. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you felt.
It wasn't comfortable at all. It was terrible.
I felt like Keith was not letting him slide on this. I think Keith is very much on our side. This guy
Keith
sucks.
was on our side 100%. It was like, are you kidding me with this guy? 24 years he's sitting on this, and we're supposed to think he's a hero?
Yeah, and then we hear about how in 2015, he was asked to come in and talk to the cops, and he said, sure, I'll talk to you, but with my lawyer. And then they never reached out to him. I think they're both at fault for this, because Steve's thing is, well, I tried. They never contacted me. And it's like, no, Steve, you gotta be relentless. Yeah, but also, I feel like the cops are also to blame, because they hear that, and he's like, well, he's uncooperative. Like, then they move on, I feel. Once they hear that the guy wants to talk through a lawyer, they have no interest in talking through a lawyer ever, I don't think. I don't think they ever want to do that.
Yeah, you're right. And it's foolish because he needs his lawyer there because he was technically kind of aiding and abetting, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't go down for this as well.
Here's what I want to know. Was this anywhere in relation to, that's the year that Regina's mom died, 2015. So do you think that, like, that's what made the detectives give it another go or something?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Either way, when they finally bring Paul in for this, they ask the coroner to look at it again. Now, I assume it's a new coroner at this point because the person...
It better be.
Right? Well, the person was so willing to say, yeah, it is a murder. So that makes me think that the person who did it's long gone.
And the new coroner is a woman.
New coroner is a woman and said, yeah, she was in the passenger side of the car. Of course it's a murder. Of course.
Is clearly homicide.
Yes.
Or as we like to call it, homicide.
That's right.
Getting a homicide a night.
Steve says he's sick of hearing about. He's aware that, people hear stuff through the grapevine, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
And I loved this. I wonder if there is a female in his life because when he talks to Keith, he could use a haircut. And there's a B-roll shot where we see him and he's all trimmed up. And I wonder if that was what his girlfriend or wife was over and was like, that's how you were on television for Keith Morrison?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, this guy freaking sucks and I hate him and I'm not cutting him any slack. This whole thing about being afraid of the guy, tough shit. I mean, at this point, I'm shocked. If this had happened in Texas, you're guilty of the crime if you're there when it happened. It doesn't matter if you pulled the trigger or held her underwater, right? So in another state, he would have been culpable, I guess. And if he hadn't come forward and we found out about him before he told us about him, I would say, sorry, dude, you were involved.
Yep.
I mean, he still might be a accomplice here, right, Kate?
He might be, technically, yeah.
Yeah, some people still think that you were involved in this in a direct way, that you participated in murder.
I never touched that girl. I never did anything with that girl.
Do you think he's unwittingly? I feel like he may have been more involved. I don't know. The point is, I think he's a loser for taking 24 years to do it. And just like the guy's, Regina's uncle says, my sister would have loved to know who killed her daughter, but she died before she could know.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't Steve also say about how the whole town thinks that he's a bad person?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, tough.
Yeah.
Now all the Holt heads do too.
Yeah. Wild that he didn't want his testimony recorded. And I wanted to go, dude, it doesn't matter. You're allowing Dateline to record you. A lot more people are going to see you talking Dateline than in court footage, dude.
Yeah.
Interesting choice there. So in April of 2025, they arrest Paul. And the opening statement from the prosecutor, I like this. He says, he drove the coffin disguised as a white Camaro into the water. I thought that was a good line. Isn't that good?
Wow. Poetic.
When the defendant, Paul Hicks, 24 years ago, launched his wife's coffin in the shape of a 1994 Camaro into the Whetstone Pond.
The defense attorney sucks because he says, Steve is a liar. If there was an Olympics for lying, he'd get the gold, the silver, and the bronze. I'm not laughing. That doesn't make any sense.
No, I mean, the gold is what you want.
Yeah, why do you want the bronze, dude?
Why is he second and third best?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Was he the only one competing? So this guy sucks.
If lying was an Olympic event, that guy wins the gold, the silver, and the bronze.
Here's what's so funny to me is that when this episode started and you hear that voicemail from Paul where he is saying,
You gonna come get him tonight or what? It's should you be here at 8:30? It's 9. Give me a call.
It's interesting, Kate. You said he sounded believable. To me, in that moment, I said, this guy's a liar and this is the guy who did it. I could just, I guarantee, Kate, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I could hear it in his tone.
Because also we know that when people are too specific,
yeah,
it's a red flag. And for him to be like, you were supposed to be here at 8:30 and it is now 9.
Yeah.
It's like, just say you're supposed to be here like 20 minutes ago. Where are you?
And he had such a tone to him, like he's the shitty ex-boyfriend, like this is a custody fight type of thing. He had that vibe to him because the very next call that we hear where it's someone saying, hey, Regina, we're worried about you. That person was heartbroken. That person was going, please just reach out to us. We're worried about you. We don't know where you are. So I knew this whole time my arms were crossed. We're going, that was the worst line I've ever heard on a voicemail ever in my friggin' life. Busted, dude. And what's funny, that is one of their proofs for the trial. But they call him out because he said, it's 9 o'clock and you're not here. As in at Steve Gates' house. But according to Paul, he had already left there at 8:30. So why would he be saying here at 9 p.m.?
Right there, he's guilty. You don't even need anything else.
Hicks was telling people and in the police that I left at 8:30. But it's 5 after 9 when he's telling Regina on her voicemail, hey, why aren't you here? Here at Steve Gates' house.
Yeah. It was so funny to me that voicemail did end up proving him wrong, but not for the reason I thought. I mean, I guess you can't prove in court that a person's a terrible liar, but you just hear him in there. I'm just like, this is so clearly a plant for a bullshit alibi.
Yep.
The only emotion that Paul shows is when he gets that guilty verdict. Do you remember what he does? He does a real annoying, like, oh.
Well,
like he throws his head back.
To me, it didn't come off as an emotion so much as like, he can't believe that anybody would find him guilty.
Yeah. So you think in his sick and twisted mind, he believes his own lie?
Mm-hmm. Or at least that was him pretending like he's outraged because of the injustice of it.
Yeah. Before we leave, we get one more bit from KM where I'm just going like high-fiving him going, yeah, you press him, dude. You press him. Because he goes, so Steve, did you ever reach out to them? Did you ever reach out to say anything? And it's like, I'm rolling my eyes going, of course he didn't. This guy's a spineless loser. Of course he didn't. If he didn't bring this forward for 24 years, do you think he's going to have the balls to go to that family and apologize? Never, ever in a million years.
He'd sooner leave town forever.
Yes. Yeah. And never talk to another soul than do that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And Keith asked why, and he goes, well, I wouldn't know what to say. And Keith goes, except? Well, I'd apologize. I'd say sorry.
I love that
slow clap.
Keith was like
great,
reprimanding a child. What do we say?
Yes! Yeah.
There's nothing to say.
Except what?
I'm sorry I didn't come forward. I'm sorry I didn't help with the resolution for your mother.
Oh my God, so funny. It was just a classic example of Keith being professional, but we can see through it. He thinks this guy's a friggin' dill, just like we do.
It reminds me of the Bill Hader when he met Keith, and he's watching that episode, and he says like, oh, Keith did not like her. And then when Keith comes in and they actually meet and he talks about it, he's like, you didn't like her. You weren't falling for this one bit. And Keith wouldn't say, because he's a professional. He just kind of like smiles.
You do not like her. And I was like, I remember watching it and out loud by myself, I'm like, Keith does not like this woman. Really? He knows she had something to do with it. And she's like, I had nothing to do with it.
All right, well, I think it's time for those lists. What do you got?
Kate's unnamed list. Well, Kurt, we have the white Camaro.
Got it. I mean, that counts. Absolutely.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Car Kate says, welcome to the list.
Absolutely. All right, so that's a Car Kate for the list. What else you got?
I think that's it.
Boy, when this ep started, Keith with his railroad town talk and all that, I felt like he was setting up small town vibe, but then we didn't get it.
No.
But he kind of wanted it. He wanted it for you, but I don't think it fit.
The drone footage looked too bustling.
On to Kurt's Kick-Ass List.
Kick-Ass List.
Number 1. Years later, like the Twilight Zone, Cam said.
Years later and nearly 200 miles away, like the Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone, another favorite show of our ancient hosts. Murph Dog and KM love themselves some Twilight Zone refs.
Oh boy.
Twilight Zone is hands down the most referenced television show on Dateline. I'm willing to put that in stone tonight.
I am willing to take it further and say it could be the most referenced television show in television shows.
Yeah. Do you think, is it strictly because of that theme, or is it also because of the show ruled? The theme song to Twilight Zone plays a big part of this. The
theme is just as famous as the Jeopardy theme, where the Jeopardy theme is synonymous with thinking.
Yeah.
And the Twilight Zone theme is synonymous with like weird stuff's happening.
Like alternate dimension. Whoa, what's happening here?
All of that. And the show rules on top of that. So like it inspires other shows visually and thematically and in a storytelling way. It's just one of the greatest shows in the history of shows.
And I haven't seen some jerk off teen go like, what is that? I've never heard of it. I feel like it's still in the consciousness a little bit. What do you think? You think people still know about it?
Yeah, let's hope.
Okay, well, that's not it. I got 2 more for you. Next up, when the cop tells her that the house was burnt to the ground.
And she's like, his house burnt to the ground.
That might sound familiar, because that's clearly a direct reference to The Burbs.
Clearly.
When Art says, it only burnt to the ground.
It only burnt to the ground.
A hideous, raging inferno.
A hideous, raging inferno.
Clearly a Burbs ref. Count it! You're on the list. I love saying, it only burnt to the ground. I love saying that.
Good, honey.
Good, honey. April 2025, when he's arrested, he is wearing a Rick and Morty shirt. A show that I would never watch simply because of the stink on it. For people like this who are fans of it. What do you think? It's a bad fan reputation, I feel.
Yes, they doxed all their lady writers.
Ew, seriously?
They hate women and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. But I mean, he made the list, but he's not really welcome. But legally speaking, he's on the list for wearing that shirt. But we don't talk to him here. That's it. That's all I got. Anything we're forgetting here? Do you want to revisit a Dateline? I mean, there's some other new ones apparently.
I haven't found that any of the recent ones were worth talking about.
Yeah, that's fair. This one was worth it though, I thought.
Yeah.
The mask thing was so insane to me. And the fact that the cops fell for it too. I was just like, really?
Well, they're dumb.
And on that note, I'm Kurt Bunny.
I'm Kateline.
She's rather large.